Baldur and the Mistletoe. In Asgard, the high northern home of the gods, there lived a god named Baldur. He was not known for strength or cleverness, nor for battle or command. Baldur was known for something quieter. He was kind. His presence brought calm to those around him. Where Baldur stood, voices softened. Where he walked, disputes seemed less important. The gods trusted him instinctively, and among them he was deeply loved. So when Baldur began to dream of his own death, the change was noticed at once. Night after night, the dreams returned. In them, Baldur saw himself falling, his light fading, the world growing dim around him. Each morning he woke unsettled, carrying a quiet fear he could not explain. The dreams did not pass. Word spread through the halls of the gods, and concern followed. Baldur's father, Odin, heard of the dreams and grew troubled, for even he could not see past what was being shown. Baldur's mother, Frigg, heard of the dreams and was deeply afraid. She loved her son fiercely, and the thought of harm coming to him filled her with dread. She decided that dreams would not be allowed to decide his fate. She set out across the world with a single purpose: to protect Baldur from all harm. She travelled far and wide. She spoke to stone and metal, to fire and water. She asked trees and beasts, sickness and weapons, earth and sky. From each thing she asked for a promise that they would never harm Baldur. And each thing, in turn, agreed. Steel would not cut him. Fire would not burn him. Illness would not touch him. Stones would not strike him. Even the animals of the world promised to leave him unharmed. When Frigg returned to Asgard, she believed her work was complete. Baldur, now protected by the promises of the world itself, could not be injured. When the gods learned of this, relief spread through them. Baldur's dreams still troubled him, but the danger seemed removed. To reassure themselves, the gods began to test it. They gathered in the open halls and took turns throwing objects at Baldur. Spears bounced away. Stones fell harmlessly to the ground. Blades turned aside. Baldur stood calmly among them, untouched. The tests became a kind of game, not cruel, but light-hearted. The gods laughed, reassured that nothing could harm the one they loved. All watched, all except one. Hodder, a blind god who stood apart from the games, listened quietly. He could not see what the others saw, and he did not understand what was happening. He asked why the gods were gathered in such high spirits. When they told him that Baldur could not be harmed, a small dart was placed into his hand. It was made of mistletoe. The dart seemed harmless, light, no different from a twig. Guided by the others, Hodder threw it gently. The mistletoe struck Baldur, and Baldur fell. There was no great sound, no chaos, no battle, only silence. The gods stood still, unable to understand what they were seeing. Baldur lay unmoving, the light that had surrounded him gone. The world seemed to pause with them. Grief spread through the halls of Asgard, deep and heavy. The loss was not only of Baldur himself, but of what he represented: calm, trust, and quiet goodness. The gods sought to undo what had happened. Messengers were sent across the worlds, asking if anything could be done to bring Baldur back. At last, a path was found, but it came with a condition. If everything in the world would weep for Baldur, he could return. Once more, the gods asked the world to speak. Stones wept, trees wept, animals wept, even the earth itself seemed to mourn. But there was one who would not. The single voice that withheld its tears belonged to Loki, who had taken another form. And because of that refusal, Baldur could not return. The gods accepted this quietly. They did not rage or seek revenge. They understood at last what Baldur's dreams had been telling him. Some losses cannot be prevented, only foreseen. From that day forward, the gods spoke less lightly of safety and certainty. They remembered that even love and care cannot guard against every small omission. And Baldur was remembered, not as a fallen hero, but as something rarer, as a presence whose absence was felt.